Hi, everybody. It's Carol. It's Thursday, June 4th, and I'm going to start putting out videos again 2 or 3 times a week. And so I hope that'll help us stay connected more while we're still physically, socially distanced from each other. I think what would be nice is if you would push the like button on the video or share it or put in a comment or something so that I have a sense that you've seen it and that these are worthwhile to you. So here I am. What's been on my mind the last couple of weeks is the murder of George Floyd and the demonstrations and protests that have resulted from that. And the sense that I can't get out of my head that maybe this is a turning point in our country, uh, for the people of our country, for all of us to do some real work on reconciliation, racial reconciliation, and find a way, in a sense, to redeem our history, um, as a people that started out with slavery in 1619 and created a culture where people of color are considered less than white people. Maybe this is a moment where that history and our future can be redeemed, uh, when people of goodwill, black and brown and white, can say, we're all children of God and we're not going to do this anymore. Those of you who have been Michiganders all your life know that this isn't just a one-off problem, that not only did we commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Detroit Rebellion, the Detroit riots, not very long ago, but before that, in the 1930s, I think it was, there was also racial riots, rebellions, uprising in Detroit. And before that, in the 1800s, there had been riots as well. So the very place that we live, um, Detroit and the surrounding, not just suburbs, but the surrounding area, Southeast Michigan, we've had our troubles for over 100 years, not to mention the difficulties our whole country has and that we have been steeped in. But because there are so many people out there protesting, people of goodwill, people of faith, people of no faith, the sense that I have that this is a time of action, it makes me wonder if the Spirit of God isn't moving in a new way. Um, that God has a way of redeeming things, redeeming that which seems impossible, and things will become possible that we couldn't have imagined before. So I'm hopeful for that. I'm also aware that it's going to take all of us to be willing to change. And I was talking to a friend earlier today, and she said, I am ready to act. I'm ready to act. I don't know what to do. So there's a piece of work for her. She said, though, I'm done reading books. I've read enough books. I'm done, in her case, with having discussion groups. I don't need to do that. I need to know what I can do to act to make a difference. So I think for all of us to be in that space, and I hear more and more of us being in that space, I think is a good thing. But what I'm also aware of is that it takes courage. It takes courage to change, especially if, as white people who have been steeped in privilege, if it's going to take courage for us to change and be willing to give up our privilege, to give up this better than that we might not hold in our head or heart personally, but that our culture is built on. And if we are willing to give it up, it'll be interesting to figure out all the ways in which we have been steeped in it and don't even realize it. But I do believe it's going to take courage to do it. So, what I hope is that you all are willing to go along on this journey. That now is the time for all of us to be willing to look at ourselves, to not look outside there at the problem out there, or to deny that there's a problem, but to be willing first to look at yourself and see what's going on in your head and heart that you might not even be aware of. I know that I continually have to do that and want to continue to do it now because our gospel calls us to that. Our gospel calls us to be willing to examine ourselves and to see if we are truly loving our neighbor as ourselves. Sometimes we're not even aware that we're not doing that. And so this reminds me of a time of penitence isn't quite the word, but a time of reflection where those of us who have thought we're doing okay should maybe really stop and think, or at least give that a try to see if there's work that each of us needs to do. So I encourage you to be courageous, to act. And so with that, I'll just close with there's a reading and a prayer. The reading, I was reminded then of Jesus's words in the Beatitudes on the Sermon on the Mount. It seems appropriate for this time. Jesus, when he went up on the mountain, taught his disciples, his teaching, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. And blessed are you when people revile you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely. Don't we all want to be blessed? And here is a short prayer for courage. Courage comes from the heart, and we are always welcomed by God, the heart of all being. We bear witness to our faith, knowing that we are called to live lives of courage, love, and reconciliation in the ordinary and extraordinary moments of each day. We bear witness, too, to our failures and our complicity in the fractures of our world. May we be courageous today. May we learn today. May we love today. Amen. I'll see you again soon. Build that courageous heart of yours. Look for some emails coming about how you can exercise that muscle. and I'll see you all soon. Bye.